Class is permanent, but form is temporary by GM Vasily Ivanchuk. Welcome back to the channel. Today I'm giving you a game which was played yesterday between Kayonde Andrew from Zambia versus FIDE Mwale Joseph from Malawi in the 45th Chess Olympiad Budapest in round 5. About FIDE Mwale Joseph, he is a promising FIDE master from Malawi and he was granted a slot to represent Malawi in the 2021 World Cup due to his splendid performance in the Africa FIDE Championships in 2021. Finishing with 6 out of 8 ahead of 4 players from Egypt. He has also won the Malawi Championship many times. He is a great attacker and a risky chess player. About Kayonde Andrew, he is a 6-time Zambian chess champion and is also known as the AK-47. At the 2016 edition of the Africa Individual Chess Championships in Uganda, he missed the GM title by half a point and he was second in ranking with 6.5 out of 9 after beating most of the players from Egypt, making history by becoming the first Zambian to finish on position second in the African Individual Chess Championships. So in the white pieces, played d4, and after knight f6, c4, e6, knight c3, bishop b4. This brings us the Nimzo Indian defense. In this position, black is fighting for control of the e4 square and is willing to give up the bishop pair so that he can clamp the pawns from the white side with moves of b6, bishop b7, and putting more emphasis on the e4 square. That's why in the game, played e3, the Nimzo Indian defense, the Rubinstein variation. In this position, the key famous moves seen in this position are short castling and c5, trying to hit in the center and undermine the pawn chain created by white. But in the game, FIDE master Mwale Joseph played d5. After c takes d5, e takes d5, then he played bishop d3, and is planning to play knight e2, queen c2 to complete the whole variation. FIDE master Mwale Joseph played short castling. After knight e2, bishop d6. This position, came up with a new move and he played knight f4. After bishop takes f4, e takes f4, so that he was controlling the e5 square. FIDE master played rook e8 check. So in this game, if would try to play a move of bishop e3, then FIDE master had a winning opportunity by playing knight g3. And after queen f3, c5, this would give black a huge advantage. That's why after rook e8 check, played knight e2. b6, trying to open up for the bishop, either putting the bishop on b7 or a6 depending on the situation at hand, because now the rook has pinned down the knight. So in this position, played b4, but short castling should have been considered in this position. So after b4, knight c6, very strong move. In anticipation, would play moves like b5. Let me show you. For example, b5, then knight b4. Attacking the bishop on d3, retain the bishop pair, would play bishop b1, and then bishop d7. In case of a3, hitting on the knight which is on b4, black would sacrifice the knight and you play bishop takes b5. Now you see that the bishop and the rook are ganging up more pressure on the e2 knight. After bishop e3, blockading the rook, then knight g4. Now the knight is also attacking the bishop which is on e3. With this, I can tell you that at least black would have decisive advantage. That's why after knight c6, played rook b1. So in this position, FIDE master Mwale played knight d4. Strong move in the position, and played bishop takes h7. After king takes h7, queen takes d4. In this position, Mwale Joseph would have tried another winning variation by playing c5. After b takes c5, bishop a6, you see that now the bishop and the rook are going up to the e2 knight. After bishop e3, rook e4, attacking the queen, queen d2, b takes c5 in anticipation of going ahead to push the pawn. After f3, rook e8. Look at this position. The king is in the center. Pawn coming into d4 is also a threat. The bishop and the rook are also ganging up to hit the knight which is on e2. I can tell you in this position, white is busted. Let's go back. After queen d4, FIDE master Mwale played rook e4, a slight inferior move in the position. After queen d2, he played queen e8. But in this position, there was an interesting variation which would begin with f5. After f3, rook e8, f3 supporting the pawn on b4, 8x b4, 8x b4, bishop f5, rook b2, because now the bishop has been attacking it. And after c5, this variation would give black a slight advantage. But however, after queen d2, played queen e8, with a plan of blanking the queen on b5, bishop f6, rook coming into e8 to put more pressure on the knight on e2. I am played f3, trying to move away the king from the center. And after rook e7, king f2, bishop s6, and after knight g3, if black would play d4, and after queen takes d4, rook e2, the king hunt would begin with knight takes e2, queen takes e2, king g3, knight h4. So remember, the king can't go in any of the white squares because of the bishop c8. That's why you see we would see king h4, queen takes g2, queen e4 check, hitting on the king and also threatening to win the rook, which is at a8, g6, queen takes a8, knight g7, planning to put the knight on f5, which is a very strong move, queen e4, planning to take the knight in case it comes in, bishop c8, taking control of all the white squares, rook g1, knight f5 check, and after queen takes f5, queen takes h2. Because of the bishop which is at c8, queen can't come on h3 because the queen can just pick it off. King g5, gf5. So in this position, you see black is attacking the rook which is on g1 and also threatening queen h6 check. This gives black a winning advantage. Let's go back. But after knight g3, FIDE master played queen b5, which helps white equalize the game by playing bishop b2. And after rook e8, he played bishop e5. Starting off the attack of the two rooks, there was an interesting variation which would begin with knight g8. Therefore, knight f5, sitting on the rook which is at e7 and also the pawn which is at g7, then rook d7, and after knight takes g7, rook takes e5, f takes e5, and then king takes g7. This would equalize the game. But however, after bishop e5, fm played knight d7, planning to hit the bishop which is at e5. Then I am played knight f5. In this position, fm would equalize the game by playing queen d3, and after queen takes d3, bishop takes d3, knight takes e7, bishop takes b1, knight takes d5, knight takes e5, rook takes b1, knight d3 check, and after king d3, rook e2 would make the game equal. But however, after knight f5, in this position, FIDE master played knight takes e5. And IM had no time to win the rook because if knight takes the rook which is at e7, then in the immediate knight d3 is winning for black, checking the king, and also the next move the rook is going to win the knight which is on e7. That's why in this position IM played pawn takes knight. The master had another simple move which would equalize the game instantly by playing queen d3, attacking the knight which is on f5 and also asking for a queen exchange. And in case white would decline the queen exchange and plays queen g5, then queen e2 check, and after king g1, queen takes e5. White can't win the rook on e7 because now the queen will be hanging. So in this position, this would equalize the game. But however, after f takes e5, fm played rook takes e5. This gave white a huge advantage, and then he played queen g5. Now you see that the queen and the knight are going up to checkmate the black king. In case of any funny moves of pawn g6, then queen h6 check, and after king goes to g8, queen g7 would be a checkmate. That's why in this position, FM played rook takes f5, queen takes f5 check, king g8, and after rook e1, rook e2 check, king g3. In this position, FM would try queen c6, planning to go ahead and play queen d6 check, but however he played c6, a desperate move, and after rook c1, g6, queen f6, suffocating the black king, and after bishop b7, rook d1, queen c4, planning to take the pawn, which is on a2, h4, going ahead so that he could create a mating net in order to mate black. Queen takes a2, threatening rook takes g2, rook takes e2, queen takes e2, and in this position played a very strong move and sacrificed the rook by playing h5. So in case of queen takes d1, then h6 would be checkmate in 1. So g takes h5, rook goes to h1, and after queen e6, I am denied him the queen exchange by playing queen d8 check, king g7, rook takes h5. And in this position, FIDE master Mwale from Malawi resigned the game in anticipation of checkmate in a few moves. Queen coming on h8 check would be checkmate in a few moves. So even if you try moves like queen e1 check, then king goes to h2, it means black had no extra checks. So in this position, FIDE master Mwale resigned the gameplay. Thank you so much. Go ahead, like, subscribe to support the channel, and I wish you the best of luck in your games. Thank you.